Welcome to the session, everyone. I hope, first of all, you all are doing great and you guys do not have any confusion in any of the previous topic. The topic that we are going to start today, first of all, that is business case. Now, business case is actually very important. It has been asked like number of times, but not a very large question, a simple part of a small question. So, first of all, what is a business case? Business case basically provides the reason and the justification for taking on a project. See, if you are taking on a project, there must be certain reasons behind that. A business case define that reason. Why are we carrying out a particular project? It talks about the advantages, disadvantages of taking on that project. It just not only that, it talks about basically three things. First of all, it talks about what is the current situation. When I talk about the current situation, it is actually talking about the current problem and how taking on a particular project can solve that problem. The very first thing is the current situation. After that, we have evaluation of option. Now, you have taken a look at what the problem is. Now, there are a number of methods through which you can solve a particular problem. There are a number of methods through which you can solve a particular problem. Now, you have to evaluate what are the different methods that we have for solving out a particular problem. So, there can be project X, project Y, project Z, through which you can solve a particular problem. You evaluate all of these things. Now, for evaluation, you have to use financial ratios, financial projections, and some other things as well. So, first of all, you talk about what is the current problem. After talking about the current problem, you start talking about how we can solve this problem. There will be different methods. Using these methods, you can solve the current problem. After that, we have a selected option. Now, after reviewing all the available options, you have to use only one option. You have to use only one option, everyone. You tell or you write a report why you have selected project X or why you have selected project Y or why you have selected project Z. So why you have selected a particular project to solve that problem, you talk about that. So you have to give out the reasons, you have to justify, basically you have to justify to the management, to the board, that why you are taking on this particular project to solve your problem. So what is business case? Basically, business case talks about what is the current problem, how we can solve that problem, and why you are using method X, method Y to solve that problem. So these are the three things that you have to talk about in the business case. So first of all, talk about current situation, identify and analyze the problem. Second is evaluation of the different options. Talk about the pros and cons, feasibility, the risk, the constraints of all the options which are available to you. After that, talk about the option that you have selected, justify, provide rationales why you are selecting this particular option. Then we talk about project initiation document. Project initiation document is a little important actually and has been asked number of times as well. What is project initiation document? Now, before you start the project initiation document plays a very important role. Project initiation document helps you to understand key. See, first of all, a business case is approved by the management or the board. A business case is approved by the board. After getting the approval from the board, we prepare a project initiation document. Project initiation document clearly states a lot of things which are needed to the project. It states number of things like what is the management team, what is the project team, how much time, how much money, how much resources, and XYZ things are given in the project initiation document in order to ensure there is no confusion while taking on the project. This is done in order to ensure that there is no confusion while we are taking on the particular project. So there can be like number of reasons why we are taking a project. PID talks about all those things. So what are the important things? First of all, it is a formal documentation. So it actually helps to understand what are all the things that company needs to take care while taking on the project. Then if I talk about what all is given over here. First of all, background information, introduction of the project scope and objectives. Then cost benefit analysis and the feasibility of the project, stakeholder identification. So if you are taking on a project, what are the different stakeholders which you need to take care of while taking on a project? Internal, external. There are two types of stakeholder. Also, there is one more stakeholder that is called as connected. These things we have already covered in the previous classes, so you don't have to worry about these things over here. Now, after that, project timeline and duration, risk assessment and management, and project cost. Over here, risk management, mein guys, you have to remember what are the different types of risk. Different types of risk. Please remember what are the different types of risk. There can be n number of risks. Although we will be studying what are the different types of risk in one more class, so we don't have to worry about that part right. After the risk part, we have the project constraints. Project constraint basically talk about why my project can stop. There can be certain internal constraints. There can be certain external constraints. But the problems that can come while taking on a particular project. Then what are the key assumptions, monitoring and control mechanism? Now, if I talk about monitoring and control mechanism, see, while taking on a project, it actually is very important to take care how, while you are taking on a project, it's not, there can be certain instances when you will go wrong. When you will go wrong, correct? There will be certain instances when you will be wrong and you will be deviating from them. During these situations, how you will make sure that your project is on the line, how you will be controlling that, how you will control the quality of it. All these things are part of your monitoring and control mechanism. So, like almost 9 things, just read it once and it will be more than enough for you. Because generally they ask like 2 or 3 items that are a part of PID. There has been a question where they ask you what are the different items that we have to write down in the PID, and you can just talk about 3 to 4 items or 5 items, and that's more than enough for all of you. So project initiation document, first of all, purpose, significance, what is the background, context, project scope and objective. Scope means the project should be smart. You remember the objective should be smart, that is specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and on a timely manner. So whatever objectives you have given, they should be smart. Objectives should be smart. Always remember that part, everyone. After that, talk about the cost and benefit analysis. See, it's not fine if you take on a project that is not going to give anything in it, because you are taking on a project to make some profits, not for some good cause. Although good cause is a part, but companies are taking projects to make profit and not for the benefit of the society only. So cost and benefit analysis is something that you have to provide to. Okay, so these are the 9 parts that you have to write down while solving the question. I hope this part is clear to all of you. Now, first of all, we prepare a business case. Why we want to take on a project. Now, when you start taking on a project, what is the first document that you prepare? You prepare PID. First of all, you prepare business case. After business case, you prepare PID. Now, PID you ensure each and everything. Now, how do we manage the project? On the very top, we have project board or committee. On the very top, we have project board or committee. Project board or committee overlook everything. Basically, they accept or reject a project. After that, project sponsor is responsible for taking on a particular project. After the project sponsor, we have the project manager that manages the day-to-day function of the project, and project team is the team that actually works on a particular project. So these are the 4 pillars of particular project. So the very first one is the project board and committee. Now, when I talk about the project board and committee, what is the role of project board and committee? Basically, it ensures that the business case is justified. They accept and reject the business cases. So first of all, their main task is to analyze a business case and approve a business case. So they overtake the major oversight of that. After that, we have project sponsor. After that, we have project sponsor. Project sponsor, what is the main role of project sponsor, everyone? Second. Now, project sponsor, there are 2 responsibilities. Important project sponsor. See, project sponsor is the one that writes a PID to the board. Project sponsor is the one that writes the business case to the board. So he has the overall ownership. We have project team manager, team lead or something we call in the corporates. I'm not sure. So he is the one that gives the directions. He is the one that writes the business case, evaluate different options, and ensure that why his method is best. He is the one taking the major decisions while taking care of the project. Board will just accept or reject, nothing else. Sponsor is the one that will be taking care of the management, that will be taking care of the controlling and every other part. And he is accountable to the board. This project sponsor is accountable to the board. All just remember the important part only, that project sponsor is responsible to the project. Project sponsor is the responsible to the or accountable to the project board. So generally, it is a director level position. Strong leadership skills will be required, and strategic vision will be there for the project sponsor. Now, after the project sponsor, we have the project manager. Now, project manager will take care of the day-to-day responsibilities. Mr. X will do this thing, Mr. Y will do this thing. We will complete this thing in 3 days, we'll complete this thing in 4 days. He is responsible for taking care of the employees or the project team that is working on a project. He is also responsible to take care of the project as well. And he is accountable to the project sponsor as well as the board as well. So he is there for the resource utilization, he is there for the risk management, timeline management, technical implementation, leadership, and lot more. So for the part of the project manager, the skills which are required include the technical expertise. Skills which are important include technical expertise, people management, problem solving, communication, and the risk management. These are the important. First of all, on the top, we have the project board that accept and reject the project, analyze the project case. After that, we have the business sponsor. Business sponsor is the one that will write down the business case, take all the strategic decisions, ensure that his project is in line with what he has written for the board, and he's accountable to them. After that, we have the project manager that is responsible for the day-to-day functioning of the business, take care of the risk management, timeline management, and is accountable to the board as well as the project sponsor. After that, we have the project team that actually works on a particular project. So these are the 4 things that you have to remember in a business case. Now, I hope these 4 things are clear to all of you now. Now, if we talk about what are the important areas that have been asked in the exam, first of all, you should remember what is a normal operation of a company and what is a project. Project is a one-off activity, but the normal operations are day-to-day tasks. Understand the constants. How can a project can be stopped? What can be the problems for the project? And always remember the PID. What is project initiation document? What are the contents of the PID and certain basic things. There can be a question onto the risk evaluation. If we are taking on a project, what can be the different risks? Talk about the cost benefit scenario. Talk about the changes that will be there or that will be required while taking on a project. Understand the relationship. If you talk about the key success factors, although these things are not required, key success factor or what, just remove them. You guys don't get confused while reading down the report. Okay. Now, understanding relationship. Understanding relationship. Basically, what is the sponsor, who's the manager, who's the team, who's the board, all these things. Documentation important, PID. Always remember business case. What do you write down in the business case? Always remember what do you write down in the PID. They can ask you to write a business case. Business case, they can ask you to write down as well. Then structuring the format of the business case, you have to remember, as well as the role clarity. Basically, what is the role of manager, sponsor, team, and all this. So these can be the different areas where they can test you in the exam.